Hello, guys and gals, and this is Vlog Friday or Vlog Friday. And let's see, this should be episode 51. Almost been doing this for a year now, and so yeah, I'm using natural light now. I find the artificial light up there to be a little bit harsh. So, anyways, Let's talk about something that we don't usually cover in this. And what we're going to talk about is patience. And if you're looking forward to something, it's really, it can be really difficult to wait. On the opposite end, there's also procrastination, which means you put things off, which is sometimes what I do with some videos. And so I end up, day of, cobbling together an idea. But that's cool. Sometimes some people work really well under pressure, but we're going to talk mainly this week about patience. It can be as I said, super difficult to have patience, especially if you've been waiting for something a long time and then it doesn't happen at least when we want it to. This can be like if you're expecting a package, if I don't know, if you're expecting company or something like that. If you make plans and they kind of go awry. I think that's AWRY, not ARYE, as in a slice of rye bread. But anyways, it's really important not to lose hope, especially, when things don't happen the way we plan. In my experience, things always happen for the best, and sometimes it's hard to say that. Because sometimes things happen that, well, they just seem out of nowhere, or there seems to be no good at all that could come from it. But it's really difficult sometimes to give reasons behind things. But for the most part, everything does, work towards the greater good. Let's see. Yeah. So, anyways, I urge everyone to basically have patience because worrying about things and basically when things don't happen the way we want, then usually that causes us to worry. And worrying never really helps anything. So the best thing to do is just to have patience. I mean, I don't play the lotto, but if I were to play the lotto and say, well, I'm just patiently waiting, winning like $1 million, and then it never happens, then it's really easy to basically write that off as or to see it in a light that's well, lotto is a bad example because I don't play the lotto. I believe in keeping the money that I have as opposed to risking it to win big. So that isn't a good example. Basically, if you if you were looking forward to a big event, but it got canceled for some reason, let's say the virus or something, it's really easy to get angry about that and to basically maybe even get depressed. But I guess that for safety reasons it was canceled or something like that. You can always usually see some kind of positive light behind what happens, even if things don't exactly go as planned. It can lead to disappointment, though, and depression. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. Anyways, we can always do number one, do something you enjoy at least once a day. Make sure it is something legal. And it's getting to the point where I'm kind of surprised, and also I'm kind of not surprised as what's legal in Illinois these days. I mean, they're desperate for money because they've had some corrupt politicians in. So they've legalized a bunch of different stuff, to make more revenue. I'm not going to say what they've legalized. Well, I will say they have legalized like gambling and stuff like that, and some not so nice things, and certain what were once called illicit substances. Um, so yeah, there is that. But so the term legal could basically vary depending on what state you're in. Is what I'm getting at. Anyways, this treats the symptoms of depression and not exactly the core or the root. You really need to deal with what the source of the depression is in order to actually move on. But doing something you enjoy at least once a day, again, with the, I should probably put an asterisk there. Asterisk. How is it pronounced? I think it's pronounced asterisk. But it's really, really difficult sometimes to cope. And doing something you enjoy at least once a day, and you have to make sure it's within your dietary wheelhouse because you don't want to end up in the hospital or something for eating the wrong thing, which can happen with certain, you know, medical situations, medical conditions, I mean. So, yeah, that should make you feel better for a little bit, but again, you really need to address the core or the source. Number two is really important also. There's always someone who cares, and it can be someone in the support industry. I keep saying service because to me, the support industry is a service, and it is a very good service. The support industry is composed of medical health professionals, doctors. I'd probably go as far as to say the clergy, even though it's a few bad apples spoil the bunch kind of thing. Because there are still some good clergy out there. But again, that's probably controversial to say that, but that they're part of the support industry, but they actually are. There's also the family unit, family, extended family, friends, all that. And it's good to have a large or even a sometimes a cozy friendship or friendship network. And so yeah, that can basically help you. And there's always someone who cares, which is always sometimes society tends to be a little bit impersonal, and it can seem like nobody cares, even if you have like millions of followers on YouTube or Instagram or whatever else there is out there on social platforms. So it's really easy to sometimes feel alone, even in a room full of people. Number three is if you are suffering from an affliction, there's no shame in seeking help, and that's really something that's really important as well. I do realize there are people out there that can handle their depression, with meditation, or they have ways of dealing with depression that doesn't require medication. What I'm saying is, I admire those people, but I realize that there are probably a lot of people out there that don't know exactly how to cope with it, and they don't take their medication, or they don't have medication to begin with, and so it's difficult for them. While I admire the people who are able to, I also am reaching out to the people who don't, or who have trouble coping to basically to seek help, because it just makes your life a little bit brighter and easy to manage. I mean, life is stressful enough without having to, worry about all that. And yeah, so there are also some medical conditions that require medication. And there's less of a stigma these days about mental illness because we are learning more and more about mental illness every day. And it is obvious that people can't really help how they are, up in their head sometimes. So that's why there is medication in the first place. Number four is no matter how bad things get, there is always hope. And this is also really, really important. It's not really so much positivity as seeing the silver lining in everything. It's having an overarching or an overreaching um, joy, I guess, um, or just holding on to hope and positivity. So it's kind of one of those things that it isn't exactly positivity, but it is. It's really, really complicated, or the way I'm making it sound. Okay. Hope is important. It's not always easy to hold on to it. And as long as you hold on to your hope, there is always hope. I mean, you never want to totally, completely abandon hope because it's kind of really, really easy to do, to lose hope. Number five is well, social tags and labels are pointless. People are people. And I just went back to the old, how I had it before. But this time I got really hung up on it. But anyways, there are always going to be probably social labels and tags, and that's something that I try to avoid. When we assign societal labels and tags, we put people into a box that they don't really fit in, and I in no way condone you putting someone into a box because that's not socially accepted and probably really uncomfortable for the person. So this is a figurative box. But anyways, um, it's really easy to get um, to fall into the hype behind these tags because they're always coming out with new social tags. Um, and it tends to put people into a category they probably don't fit in. It's like making an assumption, and you know what they say about assumptions. You can, or no, it's when you assume. And if you don't know about that, you just break it up, and then you figure it out because you can break it up into the first three letters, the middle letter, and then the last two letters, and you get that. That's what it does. That's what the word assume does. But anyways, it's really easy, and sometimes we do it without even thinking, is that we can classify people as a certain race or a certain sexual orientation or a certain, creed, or if they live in a certain place. There's always these tags going around. And I don't really think it's fair to really give someone a tag like that. It's just best if you get to know people and you break the mold and don't really categorize them. Because deep down, people are people. It doesn't really matter anything else superficially or even internally. Um, but people are people, and they always will be. Number six is be yourself. There'll never be another you. And this is important too because it speaks to individuality, and individuality is really, really powerful. When you surrender your individuality, then, well, you deprive the world of who you are. And so you really should be yourself. That's always why I encourage people to start YouTube channels and stuff like that because everyone has unique opinions and it's the world that needs to hear those opinions. So you should always be yourself. Um, and just show the world and your friends who you really are, and they will get and they'll accept you who you are for who you are. Sorry. Anyways, lastly we have I just saw that 420. Always think positive thoughts. I just did. I saw that it said 1420. In other words, 420, which is pretty cool. Anyway, that aside, you should always think positive thoughts. And I'm not talking about being like happy all the time and just being happy about being in a bad situation. You should always just see the positive. Well, every cloud has a silver lining is is one of the phrases that they use a lot. That's basically seeing the bright side to every situation, even if there really isn't a bright side to be seen sometimes. That you can usually pick out at least one or two positive things that happened. If you were in a car wreck, then at least you weren't hurt too badly. Or if you were hurt badly, at least you have insurance. And if you don't have insurance, then I'm not sure what the bright side would be to that. But I think that hospitals are like obligated to help people even if they don't have insurance or something. I don't know. And the positive side of that is that if you don't have insurance, that most hospitals allow you to make payments even if it isn't very much money. I know some people around town have had that happen. They didn't have insurance, and over like time, they basically paid off a huge debt just by paying small amounts over time. So there's always that. Um, I do remember when my mom had her diabetic spill. I mentioned this a bunch. It was a few days before Christmas, and they had a life flighter. And anyways, the bill was like $40,000 or something. And so they threw her a big benefit. But the life flight people, they just took whatever insurance gave them. And so they never really billed her. And so that was really, really nice of them. That was one of the most things I was thankful for, actually. Because it was like, oh, wow, you owe like $40,000. And oh, yeah, we'll just take what insurance gives us. And that was really good. And then eventually the money from her benefit went to bury her, and her burial was about $11,000. So yeah, that was just silver lining, I guess, to a thoroughly terrible situation. But anyways, that's going to do it for this. I believe I do need this to go live today, and that's in about an hour and a half, actually. So I need to upload this, and hopefully I'll only need to upload this once. Usually sometimes when I upload these, the files get corrupted, and I have to upload them again. So anyways, with that being said, if you like this content or it helped you at all, then like and subscribe and ring the bell so you know I upload. Also want to support me in any way, or if you want to join the Discord server, all information will be in the description below. And as always, thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.